Hi, I'm Mandy Suzanne Wong, here to read to you from my essay Seasons of Sunken Hydrophones, which will have the honor to be part of the fabulous Pact Press anthology Changing Tides. All the proceeds from that anthology will go to the Coral Restoration Foundation, so please do check it out. My essay is about listening to humpback whales through hydrophones over the underwater mountains off the coast of Bermuda, my native country, which northern Atlantic humpbacks visit every year during their long migration. Hydrophone art has awesome subversive potential. Consider the technology's history. Boston, 1901. The microphone Thomas Edison developed for early telephones is stuffed into a watertight container. In all subsequent wars involving Western powers, submarines are all the rage, so hydrophones are too. Until the 1990s, Bermuda's waters are peppered with U.S. naval hydrophones listening for Japanese and Russian subs, the idea being to torpedo them. The hydrophone is a war machine, like the radio and tape recorder. Today anyone can buy one. Bermudian Andrew Stevenson used a consumer-grade hydrophone at first, dangling it from his boat with the cables in his hands, listening for whales and dolphins so he could wander close to them and film them. He no longer uses hydrophones for that. I don't chase after whales, Andrew says. I go to the right area, where whales often congregate, but I will sit there and not move, basically wait for the whales to come to me. And so he waits. He listens with naked ears. Humpback song is loud enough to shake the hull of the boat. He watches the horizon, strains for a glimpse of telltale lobs or blows, and waits. Sometimes for a whole season. Back in 2010, Andrew used snippets of his hydrophone recordings in his award-winning documentary film, Where the Whales Sing. It shows Bermuda's hands bloodied in the early whaling industry, the ocean soiled with today's pollutants and fishing nets. But for Andrew, recording isn't a hunt for aesthetic resources. He records non-human voices because listening is an important part of loving. He upgraded to a military-grade recorder for the same reason. A technology of death, re-envisioned and upcycled to attend to alien life. The first recordings of humpback sounds were accidents. Because St. David's is the closest Bermuda gets to Russia, the U.S. Navy planted hydrophones in the water off St. David's. In the 1950s and 60s, the hydrophones connected via cable to the office of Frank Watlington, a Bermuda-born engineer and hydrophone designer. He heard a lot of whoops and moans. Submarines don't moan, so Watlington took out his binoculars. He saw the geyser of a humpback's blow right above the hydrophones. As late as 1952, humans had no idea what they heard when they heard humpbacks. Watlington was one of the first to connect humpback sounds with humpback whales. He gave the tapes to an American biologist to make sure whaling companies couldn't get hold of them. This biologist, Roger Payne, had the guts to include the B word in his analysis. The B word is beauty. From Watlington's recordings and a couple of his own, Payne produced the 1970 multi-platinum sensation, Songs of the Humpback Whale. 10 million National Geographic readers each received a copy. 5 untreated recordings of humpback whales. No drums, no strums, just whales. No layering, no more reverb than is natural, 450 meters down. I had never heard anything like it. Tears flowed from our cheeks, recalled Katie Payne, a musician and biologist who was among the first to hear Watlington's tapes. The sounds were so beautiful, so powerful, so variable, and as we eventually learned, the sounds of the famous solo whale were all the products of one singing animal, one animal. Payne was the first to hear a connection between the methodical structures of humpback sounds and the elaborate arrangements of certain primate sounds. Listening to whales, by golly, she heard music. Songs of the Humpback Whale delivered an earthquake to Western popular cultures. The story of the album's incredible influence on all kinds of music, dance, Hollywood media, even space exploration has been told again and again. From its intense emotional impact on so many, the Save the Whales movement was born, and whaling was outlawed in several countries. All this sprang from a military accident on a tiny island. Andrew wants to do it again, this time on purpose. Not the multi-platinum business. He's not in it for that. Not since Watlington has anyone recorded humpback sounds over an extended period with military-grade equipment in the crystal waters of this tiny island. Andrew's just in it to listen, to learn how migrant whales are faring in today's sick and screaming Atlantic. Thanks. Remember, if you check out the pack-pressed anthology Changing Tides, you'll be supporting the Coral Restoration Foundation and helping to keep Earth's oceans alive. Thanks so much.